A lot of people already coming in. So first, this is Manesh Patel from IchimokuTrade. I want to welcome everyone to the webinar. In today's webinar, we're going to do a complete what we call workshop. In the past, we've done these webinars on a monthly basis where we go through features and functionality on the website. We're going to do a little different this time. We're going to go through a lot of the features and functionality at the website, but we're also going to talk about how to translate the tools into trading opportunities. Okay, so this workshop is going to be focused on more on how to take these tools and use them towards turning them into real live trades. Okay, so I'm going to give you my feedback on each individual product. We're going to do some live scans in the markets. We're going to look at some live charts and go from there. Okay, there was a prerequisite for this webinar. Hopefully you guys had a chance to go through those videos, and the reason why is those videos kind of go through the layout of the website, where everything's at, and so forth. Okay, now let me be the first one to tell you this and make sure you guys understand this. Our website is not a sales and marketing website. It is a trader's tool website. Okay, now by going down that path, what we're doing is we're offering a lot of features and functionality for the traders to use. And it doesn't matter if you know Ichimoku or not, it really doesn't matter at all. And I'll show you what I mean by that. By going down, becoming a trader's website, it's not a sales or marketing, so it's not the easiest website to use. Okay, however, it's very, very powerful. If you know what you're looking for, know how to sit there and set up the parameters, it could become a very, very powerful tool for you. Okay, the website tools that we have here, I use every day, every minute of the day to trade all the different products, along with all my university and all my 1-month mentoring students. All use this website. Okay, the goal for the website was always one thing, is to be able to find all the high probability opportunities in any global market out there. Okay, and the reason why is before we came up with the website, when I worked in the institutional world, what we used to do just on the US stock side is we used to every night scan majority of the US stocks, currencies, and futures, and we'll look for certain chart setups. Well, typically what happened is after you start going for about 20 or 30 of them, you start getting tired and you start forgetting the chart setup that is really good. And that's not good at all. And what you learned is that the more bad charts you look at, the more harder it's going to be for you to recognize a good setup when it does come. So the whole idea of the website is to filter out all the bad opportunities out there and only display the high probability items. And with those high probability instruments, you then could sit there, use your brain to sit there and see if it's a real setup, validate it from a money management perspective, validate it from a setup perspective, validate it from an optimization perspective, and so forth. And I'll step you through each of those products, and we'll look at some real live trades and go from there too. Okay? Sorry for my little throat, getting allergies here. It's kind of changing seasons here in Atlanta. Now, normally our webinars are, I do open up the mic for a lot of people to speak, but we got over 1,000 people on this webinar, so there's no way I'm going to open up the mic on this at all. If you do have any particular questions in regards to any features, functionality, or anything in regards to trading, please put them in the question part, and what we'll do is we'll slowly go through those questions as we move forward. As normal, we're going to go for our normal disclaimer. A disclaimer is basically to state this is for education use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, you're doing it at your own risk. All the information on this webinar is owned by EII Capital Group. It cannot be copied or duplicated without written permission from us. Now, we are broker neutral, so I do show you various different charting broker platforms, from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, eSignal, and then overseas we do get involved with Dukascopy and IG Markets and other platforms too. Okay, so it really doesn't matter what charting platform you're using. Ichimoku is very popular now to a point it's available on almost every platform out there. And the reason why is Bloomberg rated it as the 10th most popular indicator now. So pretty much you do have that indicator available for almost every platform out there. Okay, so let's go straight to the website. Okay, now I'm not going to go for the basic parts of the website. Okay, yes, Raymond, this will be recorded, and I will be able to I'll show you exactly where it will be posted to, and then what will happen is you'll get a follow-up email tomorrow with a the video recording link. Okay, so now I'm not going to sit there and go for every little menu as I've done in the past. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to direct you to the videos that basically show that you should have gone through already, because there's a prerequisite that kind of show you where everything's at, how to set up everything from email alerts to the scanners and stuff like that. So the very first thing I want to kind of show you, if you go to the video section, this is probably one of the most important information sections that we have on our website. Okay, and the reason why is that we have over 700 videos that we've posted since 2007. Okay, and there's a lot of videos that we've always posted, and what we've done here is we tried to organize everything in a logical fashion based on the various different needs of people out there. Okay, so the very first thing, someone's new to the website, doesn't understand our numbering system, doesn't understand what our heat map products are, doesn't understand our email alerts, what you should be doing is going to this section that says tutorial start here. Once you click here, these are short little videos I've created just recently where it literally goes through everything in the website, including our numbering system. Our numbering system, believe it or not, a lot of people think it's Ichimoku related. It's not just Ichimoku related at all. In fact, if you're an Elliott Wave trader or even a Fibonacci trader, you still have the ability to use our numbering system. Okay, in here we also talk about indicators versus chart patterns and various other things too. Okay, so I really highly recommend you guys go for these videos. If you haven't, they're very short videos and they've got a lot of content in there, and I think everything will make sense after you go through that. Okay, the next section we've kind of added in the last week is this trade review. What we've been doing now is that for currencies and stocks, especially stock options, we've actually been posting real life trades that myself or my students have taken. Okay, we're going to post some future trades too. We just haven't had a chance to get around to them yet because we're getting ready for Traders Expo in Vegas, but we will post those too. But this actually steps you through the entire process of putting on a trade, the thought process of entering the trade, putting on a trade, the money manager, exiting, and so forth. Now, believe it or not all of these are winning trades either. There's some losing trades in here. We also talk about how we lose, and we'll put a trade on the opposite side where we do get that money back too. So there's a lot of good information here in these trade reviews, and we will be adding more and more of these as time goes on. And these trade reviews will be not just myself, but it'll also be my university students too. Okay, next section is the workshop videos. Typically what happens is when I go out and speak in the public arena to trading groups or for various different platforms out there like TradeStation or eSignal, we typically record it and we post it on the website. That means it's full accountability for us. Okay, so here, and even the website where the videos will be all here too. So these are actual live workshops where we've done in live webinars or live workshops, and you could actually go for each one of these and you could hear what I said. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people don't like them. Reason why is a lot of people in the audience are asking questions and they want straight webinars. So some people do like them for the information content, but some people don't like some of the interaction that I have with people. Either way, these are all the live workshops here, and that's all presented there. Ichimoku videos, these videos are specifically dealing with Ichimoku. In here you could even see how WD Gann theories and Elliott Wave and Fibonacci relate to Ichimoku, and it breaks down all the Ichimoku components too. Heat map email videos. This webinar will be posted here in 1 to 3 business days on this section here. Okay, so we had a webinar this morning. You'll have that one and this one that would be posted here too. Okay, bi-weekly videos. These we kind of stopped for the last 2 months, but we're going to get ready to start them up at the end of this month. But this is basically where I literally go for every Forex, every future, or every global stock market out there, and I go for everything and give you price support resistances, give you projections whether they're bullish or bearish and so forth. Okay, a lot of people were complaining that I haven't done these for a while, so we're going to start starting these very soon, but they do take a lot of time. That's one of the reasons why we haven't been doing them on a regular basis. Thinkorswim, we do have various different broker platform videos here. So Thinkorswim, if you're new to Thinkorswim, don't know how to set it up, if you click here, that will go through a lot of Thinkorswim videos, TradeStation, and then miscellaneous too. Okay, so one thing I encourage you guys to do is keep on looking in these sections here. We're continuously adding a lot of videos there and adding new sections and a lot of videos there. These are all free. There's no charges at all. So, and they're full of a lot of content. So I really would highly recommend you guys come in here to see all that stuff. Okay. The other thing is, if you've not downloaded the free Ichimoku ebook, click on here and you could download the ebook here. This ebook literally goes for everything about Ichimoku, all the indicators, the origin of it, and all the different strategies out there. You shouldn't need to sit there and buy anything out there, not even a book, to learn the basics of Ichimoku. Everything's right here for you. In fact, this ebook's being released. This ebook's actually, believe it or not, 15 years old. So we've released this 15 years ago, believe it or not, and it's still one of the most popular ebooks on the web today. Okay, so that pretty much goes for the videos. If you're interested in learning other different things, we have a different product section in here. You guys could go through it. There's even little clips of the videos here. Education, if you want to learn about our education things, our university programs or anything like that, you could go get details here. Testimonials and so forth. One thing I like to point out in testimonials, a lot of people put the best testimonials out there. I don't. I actually put negative ones and positive ones. Reason why, there's no one perfect out there, so I want you to see the critiques out there, and I want you guys to understand everything that's there. And if you guys have heard me for years, you know that I'm very direct. Okay, and some people don't like that, and that's no problem at all, but at least we're not trying to con you. Then you have the resource section here. I want to point out a couple of things here. If you look up here, they have a little F for Facebook and T for Twitter. These are social media icons here. We are continuously blogging various different informations out there. And if you look here on Twitter here, you could see I posted gold, crude oil, and you could even see this morning, and this is the chart from today, I've actually been posting daily E-mini S&P support resistance levels for the last 3 to 4 weeks every day for the day traders / swing traders out there. And you could see here that this right here, we had all these resistance levels here, and believe it or not, we got to our resistance level here today, and we stopped exactly at that resistance level there. So Twitter and all these have the same information there, but you really would recommend you guys sign up for a Twitter feed or a Facebook feed, because they got a lot of content there, and I'm actually publishing a lot of trades and good information, and you could actually get a lot of good ideas from there too. The second thing I want to emphasize that a lot of people don't notice is this big B button up here. This is our blog. Now, myself, along with all my students globally, are sitting there publishing trades of the week. And what they're doing in these trades of the week is showing you how you're using the website tools, whether it be the email alerts or the RT scanner. You're taking that information, they give you a snapshot of when that email alert in this example came out. So this came out September 10, though, so forth. So they show you that email alert and then show you the chart and give you their thought process in setting up the chart. So this is a great, great, great way for you to learn how to take our products and translate them to charts and translate them into real life trade setups with money management and psychology built into them. Okay, so I really would highly recommend you going through this stuff. And if you actually want to even see my trading career, believe it or not, I actually started blogging in April 2007. I was trading before that, but someone told me that another way to improve yourself was for accountability, just to sit there and blog. Because if you sit there and you blog about your trade, that shows you're confident because you're putting it out to the world. So you could even come back here as the very first time I started blogging here, April 2007. you could actually see my journey going to Ichimoku. So I was using Ichimoku here in 2007, but I was also using other different things like Gann, Fibonacci, and so forth. So if you click in here, these pictures are taking a little while to load, but you could actually see trades I started taking before, because I'll blog them before I take them, and you could see my entire journey as you've gone through for years over here. A lot of people are making accusations that they've been using Ichimoku for the first 4 years, and they were the first ones to bring it to the U.S. or the Western world, and it's not true at all. There's been a lot of people, believe it or not, that's been using Ichimoku for years in the U.S. It's just they haven't been in the public eye. And you could see here in 2007 we started, but I really wasn't in the public eye until about 2011 or 2012. But you can see we've been using Ichimoku for a long time. But so you could go in here and see all that stuff. Okay. Now, we've gone through a majority of everything in the website here. A couple of things just to make sure. If you guys have any issues with the website, got some concerns, or don't know how to use a particular product, please don't hesitate to call the phone number here or email here. As a subscriber, every student, believe it or not, that has a subscription in here or even a free trial, you have the ability to sit there and sign up for a free 30-minute session with one of our mentors. Now, it's not a fluff session either. Our mentors will basically sit there, find out what you're looking to do, and they'll help you set up all the parameters on the website so that you are successful using our tools. Okay, that's something we make available for free, so everyone gets a free 30-minute session whenever they sign up for a trial or they have a subscription. Okay, now let's go for the different products. So remember, I'm not going to go from detail because they were in the video section, but over here I'm going to quickly highlight a couple of things. So one, if you go to the Manage Alerts section in here, this shows you the email alerts. Now, the email alerts is totally different from the RT scanner. Okay, they're two separate products, and I want to make sure that's clear for everyone because that's the biggest confusion a lot of people get. The email alerts basically look for various Ichimoku setups on various time frames. Okay, that's all it's looking for. If you've heard me speak and talk about multiple time frame support resistances, MTFs, these email alerts are not looking for MTFs. They're actually looking for Ichimoku strategies on various time frames. Okay, now why is that very useful? Well, most people, they trade one time frame. By trading one time frame, you're typically getting a 1-to-1 reward risk ratio or 3-to-1 reward risk ratio. Okay, a lot of people do not have the ability to not even get a 3-to-1 or higher reward risk ratio. But if you sit there and do multiple time frame analysis and you look at these email alerts, the whole idea of these email alerts, and let me show you an example in here. The whole idea in this email alerts, and I'll show you a 7 time frame email alert in here, and this is a future one that came yesterday. So here's Cocoa. So Cocoa Futures has a bullish Ichimoku setup on a 10-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, 120, 240, and daily. Okay, and yes, I understand it's not in these two boxes here, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this is a 7 time frame buy. That means there's an Ichimoku strategy on each of these time frames here. Now, why is that useful? Why am I making a big deal of this? Well, here's why. Let's say you take a 10-minute trade. On average for Cocoa Futures on the 10-minute, let's say on an average point movement for a 10-minute for Cocoa Futures is 10 points. And I'm just coming up with these numbers for the heck of it right now. Okay, so the average points you get is 10 points. Now, with your system is designed either 1-to-1 or going up to 3-to-1. Doing that, let's just say you had the best reward risk, which is 3-to-1, you're going to get 10 points out of this because that's the average points of the 10-minute moves. Now, the best part is that if you have a strategy here and it breaks out, when it starts moving and breaking out, it will hopefully trigger the 30-minute breakout entry too. Once that starts to move, then it will trigger the 60-minute breakout entry and so forth. So it'll be like a domino effect where as price moves up, breaks out one time frame, it'll cause the breakout on another time frame to trigger and so forth. And by doing that, even though I took the trade off a 10-minute, where my risk and my stop is based on the 10-minute, by causing this domino effect all the way down to the daily time frame, I now have the ability to sit there and access the reward off a daily time frame. So if the daily time frame gives you an average of 50 pips, I no longer am restricted to 10 pips from, 10 points from a 10-minute time frame. I now have the ability to take the same risk on a 10-minute, which is low, but now I have a potential of making a reward of the 50 points. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? So all it is a domino effect where I'm looking for a Ichimoku strategy on various time frames, and when I see them all lining up, that tells me I have the ability to access the higher time frame rewards off each of these higher time frames. Okay, and I'll look at some of these in just a moment with you. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. Now, let me explain another confusion. This email alert says it's a 7 time frame buy or sell. If you count, there's 7 boxes, but Coco is not on the 120 or 240. Okay. Now, this is not a mistake. The formula behind what we're doing here is very unique. Okay, it's not something you can make common sense from. And the reason why is that we never take a trade off a trading time frame unless we know we also have a strategy on the higher time frame. Okay, so minimum when we take a trade, it has to be a 2 time frame buy or a 2 time frame sell. Minimum we're looking for 2 time frames at least. Okay, and so what we've done here is we show you the trading time frame, but we don't show you the higher. Okay, so whenever there's something in this box here that's telling me there's an Ichimoku strategy on the 10-minute, and there's also an Ichimoku strategy on the higher time frame, which we don't show you. So it may look like a mistake here, but it's not. Believe it or not, the formulas work, and the reason why we know these work every day is because we are trading off these signals every day. Okay, so if there is a mistake, trust me, I'll be the first one to know, because I literally go through all these email alerts and all the RT scanner profiles every morning or every afternoon, every day, along with my students. So if there was a mistake here, trust me, we can let you know. We'll let you know, and we'll fix it right away. Okay, now, remember, you could see how to use these products by going to the blog. But what we're going to do is I want to take a live market now. Let's take a currency trade. Actually, let's do this. I want to look at a live market. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over here to currencies. And I'm going to take whatever time frame it gives. And I'm going to show you how I take these email alerts and translate them to see if they're real opportunities. Okay, now this is going to take a little minute for me. The reason why is I literally have all those email alerts archived. Okay, so here's a 5 time frame email alert that came in for currencies. It's waiting to load. So give me a sec. I got a lot of things running on my machine, so it's a little slow right now. It should be this though. Okay, here we go. So let's take the euro yen. So the euro yen is a 5 time frame buy. There's a strategy on the 60-minute, strategy on the 120, strategy on the 240, and there's also a strategy on the daily. Okay, now the higher time frame for the daily is weekly, so you don't see the weekly, but if you count the weekly, that's 1, daily's 2, 240 is 3, 120 is 4, and the 60 minutes 5. So that's a 5 time frame buying opportunity. Okay, now if you're familiar with the Ichimoku strategies, number 4 is basically the cloud breakout strategy, and number 2 is basically the Cajun Sing cross strategy. Okay, so we're gonna go here. So let's say I'm a 60-minute trader, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the 60-minute time frame, and I'm gonna look at this instrument, okay, and see if it's a real live opportunity. So I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna use Thinkorswim for now. I'm gonna pull up euro yen, and I'm going to go to a 60-minute time frame. Okay, now on the 60-minute, it told me it was a bullish cloud breakout strategy. If you're not familiar with what I mean by bullish cloud breakout strategy, you need to go through the Ichimoku videos and it'll be very clear after that. Okay, now one of the things I like to do is I want to make sure, no matter if I'm taking a breakout entry or a pullback entry, I want to make sure if I'm trying to go bullish, my support is very strong. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if this has a multiple time frame support. Now the email alert doesn't scan for it, so I have to manually do that, or I could use the RT scanner to do that. Okay, so if I manually do this, the way I would look at it is it told me Euro Yen was an opportunity. So the first thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go bullish, so I'm going to find my current bar and I'm going to find the Ichimoku colored lines that are below me. So I see a yellow line here, I'm going to draw a horizontal line there. I see a green line here, I'm going to draw a line there. Now, I'm going to go to a lower time frame, which is a 30-minute, and see if any of these horizontal lines here match any of the Ichimoku lines at the current bar. This one does. This one doesn't. So that is telling me that the 30-minute support is equal to the 1-hour support here. Okay, then I'm going to go to a higher time frame, and if you look, this also is equal to the green line, which is the Kijun-sen support here. And then I'm going to go to the daily time frame here, and I notice that the daily time frame support is down here. Okay, so this support here on a 60-minute is the same support for all the day traders and the swing traders. However, it's not the same support for the long-term traders. The long-term traders are, the support is here. Okay, so if I sit there and buy off the 60-minute here, right here, and I buy right here with a buffer as my stop and minimum my target is here, or I could target up here. Okay, what that means is that this is an aggressive trade. And the reason why it's aggressive is that I have the day traders and the swing traders thinking one way, but the long-term aren't. Okay, so it's not the highest probability trade, and the reason why is that if the daily decides it wants to pull back to its support, which is that green line here, that means you will be stopped out on a 1-hour time frame. Is everyone okay with that? Now, this is going for our MTF. You could go to the workshop videos and you could learn more about how to do this MTF functionality in those workshops. I step you through it step by step. Okay, so this will be an aggressive trade. If my trading plan says I could take aggressive trades with low risk, then I will sit there and put a buy order here, put my stop down here, put an alert here, so when it gets there I'm going to tighten up my stop, which will be right here, and then I'm going to target up here. So if you look at it, my risk is this much right there. My reward will be from here to here, so that gives me a 3-to-1 reward risk ratio. So this is exactly how I would think when I got that email alert. Is everyone okay with that? Yes? Okay. No answers, I mean, are good. I think are good. Either that or you're lost and you're not willing to ask questions. One of those two. Okay. I'm going to move forward unless there's questions. So now, that basically goes for our email alerts. Okay. One thing I want to stress on these email alerts that a lot of people don't do. We support most of the global stock markets out there. Okay. The way I would set these things up is I would literally click on every box in here. Okay. And then I would change the frequency to 60 minutes and turn this receive email to be no. What this does is it doesn't mean that you're not going to get emails. You will, but you'll get them in this virtual box here. Okay. So, and the reason why is you don't want to flood your regular email box with all these emails that are coming in. Sometimes Google or Hotmail at that point, if you get too many emails, will start blocking us, and then you're going to run into all kinds of issues. Also, you don't want to sit there and flood your regular personal email with all these email alerts at all. So I say no here, and then what happens is all these email alerts accumulate in this virtual box here. And the good thing about them accumulating here is that you could do filtering. So let's say I want to look at all the markets. It doesn't matter if it's a 4 time frame, 7 time frame buy, but I want to see when there was an email alert for Apple, if there's one now or when was it. And look here. Apple yesterday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time had a 4 time frame buy, and you could see there was an Ichimoku setup on a 10-minute, a 120-minute, and that's it. Okay, so 2 of the higher time frames are not shown, but that's basically what gives you 4. That means you could sit there. If you're a 10-minute trader, you could take this trade, or if you're 240-minute trader, you could take this trade, because the only time frames that had setups on them were on 10 minutes or 240. Okay, so if you're looking for a particular instrument, you could filter there. If you're looking for the highest probability trades, you could filter for 7 time frame opportunities. Or if I'm a person that's in Australia, because I see a lot of Australian people on this call, if I come in here and I only want to look at the Australian stock opportunities, I could come in here, click on these, and I could see all the Australian stock opportunities here too. Okay, so by making sure everything comes into this virtual email box here, that basically means you could do scanning and filtering yourself. Okay, we keep 30 days of archives in here, so you could always go back for 30 days and see any of the information there. Okay, the next thing what we're going to do is, in the last product we're going to go for is the RT scanner. Okay, now in the RT scanner, there's all these tabs up here. Don't get scared with all these tabs up here. It doesn't mean that there's all these tabs up here that you have to use all of them completely. We have various types of traders, okay? So we have some scalpers, we have some day traders, we have some swing traders, and long-term traders, okay? And then we got some people that are a mixture of those different profiles. So one of the things is, on the website, we wanted to make sure that we support every type of trader. That's why we have all these tabs up here. Okay, now the very first thing you should do is go to profiles, and in here I'll show you these profiles. And what we'll do is we'll explain all these profiles in just a moment, but these are my suggested profiles that I've created for you guys. Okay, and then these are profiles that I created, okay, for my personal account. Now, one thing you can do is click on these defaults, make some changes, and then save them as your own. Okay. The good thing is, once you save up these profiles here, if you click on this thing that says email settings in here, you could click what day and what time you want the system to automatically run that scan and send to your physical email box. So you don't have to come into the website every day or every minute to sit there and run these scans. You could have it automatically, the website scan based on whatever parameters you set it up for, and send you an email on whatever dates and times you've chosen. The dates and times are in a 24-hour format, and the time is Eastern Standard Time Zone. Okay? So I'm not sure about you, but that's the most handy thing. I literally get into the office at 7 o'clock. So what I've done is I've set up various different profiles, and literally at 7 o'clock, all of them get emailed to me. So the very first thing I do in the morning is I literally go through those emails, potential opportunities on those emails, and literally just look at those potential opportunities right then and there. Okay? So it saves you a lot of time from doing a lot of research out there. Now, we've gone through profile. One thing I really would suggest you do is, if somehow you're not getting any results, or you feel like you've made a mistake or anything, click on this thing that says reset parameters. Once you click on reset parameters, this will reset everything to the default. How do you know? Up here it'll say profile loaded is default. Okay? Once you've done that, you could go in and configure everything. So let me come over here to the general tab. If you want to search for any particular symbol, you could put that symbol in here. So if I want to see all the symbols with A, all I do is click on A, press enter, and it'll find all the symbols in our database that have an A in there. Okay? Now, I'm going to click this off. So this is where you can start doing all the filtering based on your parameters. You could filter here based on price. you could filter here based on markets. You could choose 2 or 3 different markets or more. So let's say I like to trade Australian stocks, I'm a currency trader, and then I like to trade US futures. So I could hold down the control key and select any of these, and what will happen is now I'm setting up parameters to only search these particular markets out there. Okay? That's what that is. The result view changes the view here. So right now we don't have any time frames clicked on, so we're only going to have one option here, which is a heat map. The heat map used to be a separate product, and what we've done is we moved it into this real-time scanner. So what you could do is you could set up all the scanning, filtering parameters, click on OK, it'll show you everything, and then this heat map view kind of gives you a holistic overview of all the time frame, what's going on. Okay, so you could see that some 10 minutes and 30 minutes are zeros here, and the reason why is for international markets we don't support a 10-minute or 30-minute. Reason why is there's not much liquidity at those 2 levels where the price and the charts gap. So for US stocks, currencies and US futures, we support 7 time frames. For international markets, we only support 60 minutes to monthly, and that's why some of these here you see are basically 0. So if I show you currencies in here, look what you could do. You now have the ability to sit there and see currencies here, and you could see everything that's going on from the lower time frames to the higher. So an example would be here in this particular instrument. You could see that the 10, 30 minute, 60 minute, and 120 are red. That means they're bearish. Then you got a green for the 240 daily, and then you got red here for the monthly and weekly. So there's a lot of confusion going on here. Okay, if you want to also and this is example and I'll use for currencies. Let's say you only want to look at the currencies that have Australian in there. So you could do Australian filtering in here, and you could see if you feel like the Australian currency is going to go bullish, it's going to go up. You could scan here for Australian currency, and then you could see which time frame here. You'll look for green boxes on the higher time frame. So if you notice here, this is green right there. That's for the pound, that's in reverse order. But you could literally look for the colors here, and you could see exactly which pair is where the Australian currency is the strongest against. Now you could do this with stocks, you could do this with futures, and various different things out there. Okay, so now I'm going to put this back to normal. Here you could also search for volume too if you like, and I'm going to click off the heat map so it goes back to a normal view here. Okay, and then I'm going to click on all instruments so everything comes back here. Okay, now some other things you could change a view here. If you want to see more columns of data, all you do is come into columns here. It gives you various option statistics, it gives you various strategy statistics, and various Ichimoku parameters here too. Okay, so this column here controls what you're going to see as far as the display is concerned. If you're an option trader, I know a lot of people are here in the US. There's huge marketing going on lately in the US about unusual calls and puts. So a lot of people are sitting there telling you that you could get an edge looking at unusual calls and puts. Well, a lot of people are telling you there's an edge, but they're not telling you how you need to filter, because there's going to be tons of information and you really don't know sometimes if those calls or puts people are buying are to close out positions to open positions. So one of the things you have the ability to do here is that you could sit there, search for unusual calls and put volume or even volatility, and then you could search for a strategy at the same time. So you could see if there's a strategy at the same time, and it'll automatically filter everything for you. And I'll show you a setup in just a moment with all that. Okay. Ivan had a question. Scanner works for free. Everyone has a one-time 30-day free trial, Ivan. And in order to get the trial, you could email us or call us at this information up here. Okay. Now, in here, these are all the time frames in here. If you go for that video that says start here, I literally go through every one of these options and what each one of these options are. Each of these menu drop downs for every time frame in here deals with the Ichimoku strategy. All those strategies are laid out here in this free ebook here. So if you go for this free ebook here, and literally you could sit there and practice each one of those strategies in that ebook by just coming to the website, picking your trading time frame, and read the ebook, and it'll tell you exactly which parameters are set up here, and it'll automatically scan for those particular opportunities in a real live market for any global instrument there. Okay, so these parameters were all set up based on the free ebook down there. Okay, so it doesn't matter what Ichimoku strategy you're using, you pretty much have the ability to scan for it all in here. Okay, now let's go for the profiles, and I want to kind of explain the different profiles, because if you're new to Ichimoku, I really would highly recommend you start off loading some of these profiles, get used to them, see how they translate to the charts, and see how it all works. Okay, so the first parameter, first profile here, it says that price is at a 240-minute, daily, weekly, multiple time frame support. So what this profile here does is it finds the same support or resistance on a 240-minute time frame, daily and weekly. Okay, and then what it does, it looks for a price to be at that support resistance. That means you're at a major support resistance that is the same support resistance on a 240 daily and weekly. That means it's a live opportunity right now. Okay, the forecasting means that there is a multiple time frame support resistance, but price is not there yet. That means it's got to pull back to that level, and at that point it'll be basically there. Okay, so forecasting is one of the things that we talk a lot on the webinar, and I'll actually scan the live market in a minute and go to a real life chart in just a moment for you. Okay, but if you are looking for opportunities to pull back where they're not at that pullback level right now, that's where you would choose the forecast. This forecast swing, what it's doing is it's looking for the same support resistance on a 240 daily or weekly. The day trading forecasting looks for the same support resistance on a 10-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute. The long term, right here, it looks for the same support resistance on the daily, weekly, or monthly. Everyone good with that? Now here's the best part. If you have no idea what is in these things, just click on them. Okay? And you know that this thing starts off at the 240-minute. So literally you could go to the 240-minute tab and you could see everything I turned on. And if you scroll down, you could see I highlighted 240 daily and weekly. And that's telling the system to find the same support on the daily, 240, and weekly. And literally you could go for each one of these tabs and you could see what parameters I've set up so you could learn to see exactly what it's doing. Okay? So we have that. The next one is this bullish cloud strategy. There are tons of people talking about Ichimoku and its bullish cloud strategy. It seems like everyone wants to get into the sales and marketing of the Ichimoku name now. And the problem now is this cloud strategy has become popular, but people are sitting there not telling you correctly how to use it at all. So what I've done is for the 240-minute time frame, and believe it or not, statistically, this is the best time frame to trade. I literally have set up the bullish cloud strategy and a bearish cloud strategy, and I optimized it for you so it looks for the best optimum setups, which are the highest probability setups for a single time frame. So if you click on the bullish one, it then shows you the highest probability bullish cloud strategy for the 240-minute time frame. Okay, so if you're new to Ichimoku, I really will suggest you start off with this bullish cloud strategy and the bearish one for bearish opportunities here. And then once you have it here, so this is here, let's say I'm only interested in S&P 500. So you could click on my default profile, click over here, change some parameters, and then what you could do is you could save this as a new profile and say Manesh profile. And now you can set up the email alerts for that. Okay? So these are the best opportunities. Notice around in the whole S&P 500, I only found 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 stocks that were really, really bullish. Okay? If I look for bearish here, I only found 3, and only 1 is in the US. There's one here that's basically, I think, I don't even know where that's at. This is India with the silver and so forth. Okay, now this is a bullish cloud strategy right here. Let's say I want to optimize this. Okay, so I've taken the default profile that basically is optimized to the 240-minute time frame. I could further optimize this by looking and doing multiple time frame analysis. So this is a 240-minute parameters in here. Now what I could do is on the daily time frame, I want to make sure it's also above the cloud. So I could sit there and say I want it above the cloud on the daily time frame. Click on that to be an update, and also I can make sure it's above the green line support here, the Cajunson, which is the container of the trend, which is normally your stop. So by doing this, I'm making sure my daily time frame is in supporting me for my 240-minute time frame. And then I could do the same for the weekly. I can make sure that the weekly is above the cloud too. Okay, and also price is above here. Okay, notice I'm filtering down. Now I could also come over here and look for this to be bullish over here. Now what happens is now I'm looking at a 240-minute Ichimoku strategy, and I'm making sure that the daily, weekly, and monthly are also bullish too. Okay, so let's take one of these opportunities and look at them. That is DAL, so Delta Airlines. I should know that one. I fly that too much. So we first started off on a 240-minute time frame. Okay. Now on a 240-minute time frame, what we had the system do was to find multiple time frame setup between the 240, daily, and weekly. That means I need to find the main support first. So I'm going to go to the 240. I'm going to draw a line at the red line, draw a line at the green line, all above or below the current price. And then I'm going to draw a line at the yellow line. So right at the current price, I'm drawing a horizontal line at the red, green, and yellow. Now I'm going to go to the daily time frame and see which Ichimoku line meets up with it. There's that one that intersects it. Nothing here at the current bar intersects this at all, so I'm going to delete that. Nothing intersects that at all, so I'm going to delete that guy. And then I'm going to go to the weekly, and on the weekly, my line here intersects the red support here. Everyone see that? So now, this right here, I could take a 4-hour trade here. I could take a pullback trade right here, or I could take a breakout trade right here. Okay, now the boundary condition, the major support between this being bullish and this being going into bearish mode is this level here. Okay, so if I take an entry today, let's say I take an entry today, my stop is always going to be that boundary condition minus a buffer. So this is going to be my stop. Okay, now I'll explain why I'm explaining this to you in just a moment. So this is my stop. This is my boundary condition, which I'm going to denote by putting it in blue. Okay, and then this is my entry. If I take an entry up here, my stop is down here. That's my risk that I'm taking on. Okay, if I sit there and take an entry right at this boundary condition, that is my risk right there. Okay, so if you're a pullback trader, what you want to do is find these boundary conditions here and place your orders right there, because it's do or die for this thing to be bullish. And the thing is, even if you lose, it's very small, but the reward could be huge, because this thing here could sit there, come all the way down here, come to here, you enter, bounce off there, and come and retest that high up here. So if this is your risk, there's your potential reward. Everyone see that? So this is a great pullback trade right here as far as money management is concerned. Now, if you look at it here from a 4-hour perspective, this is bullish. On a daily perspective, this is bullish. It's above the cloud and above the green line. Over here on the weekly, this is above the cloud and above all the supports too. So the weekly, daily, and the monthly are all bullish. So all you're doing on the 4-hour is you're looking for a setup to take in the direction of the higher time frames. So that's a high probability trade. Everyone see that? Yes? Okay. So that's one way to do all this stuff here. I want to show you a couple of different things too. So let me reset the parameters here. And what I want to show you next is let's do average put volume for stocks. Okay. Now, unusual puts over here, I'm looking for 20 times the average daily put volume. And in here, I see all these opportunities here. You guys see that? Okay. Now, what I could do is I want to make sure there's a strategy, a cloud breakout strategy also. So now I could click on update, and this is the only thing that popped up. So by doing it this way, what happens now is that I see all the unusual calls and puts. But now what I could do is I could pump them through a strategy filter to find out which one of them are really real. And that is very, very valuable. I'm not sure if you guys realize that or not, but that's extremely valuable out there. Okay, and let me show you in here. Let's turn this guy on. And the option stuff works off daily time frame. So let's just go 10 times the average. Look at the opportunities here. So there's not much here as far as the put volume is concerned today. Okay. And you probably know that due to the Fed announcement that's coming out. Here is the call volume. And you got a little more on the call volume here, right? Now what you could do is you could go to a 240 minute and say, you know what? I want the system to look for a strategy on the 240 minute for me. And if you look at it, there's only one of them that had the unusual call volume that actually has a strategy, and that strategy is bearish. Okay? This is very, very powerful if you know what you're doing and what you're looking for. Okay? If you don't know these parameters or what you're looking for, you need to probably call us to set up a free 30-minute session, and we could help you based on what your personality is and so forth, and help you create a trading plan. Okay? Another powerful tool I want to show you guys, which not a lot of people do. Okay? And let me show you this chart. So most people, you rely on the SPX or the Dow or the NASDAQ, and you kind of judge the stock market based on that. However, all these indexes, including the futures, are weighted. That means there could be a dominant stock in there that's kind of pushing the market going up. So even if the SPX looks like it's going up, majority of the stocks that make up the SPX may not be going up, they may be going down. So you have to be very careful sometimes with some of these indexes and judging what's going on with the stock market. One of the things I like to do is very simple. In Ichimoku, you know one thing. If price is above the cloud, it's going bullish. If price is below the cloud, it's bearish. If price is in the cloud, it's consolidating. Would everyone agree to that? Yes? So now, watch what I'm going to do here. Let's say I like the S&P 500. So now what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to come to the weekly time frame. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to turn it to be bullish. So I want you to find every opportunity which is above the cloud on the weekly. Then I'm going to come to the daily, and I want it to be bullish too. Now I want my swing trading time frames to be what? Bullish. So I'm going to turn that to be bullish too. So here, literally just going in, and I want the system to find every opportunity around the world which is above the cloud on the 60, 240, daily, weekly, okay? And then let's do this. Let's look at it from the S&P 500. Out of 500 stocks, these are the only ones that are above the cloud on that. Now, if I add the monthly, which is a long-term view, that list is narrowing. Do you guys see that? Now, let's find all the ones that where the day traders are thinking the same way, so it help it push it in my direction. And notice, these are the instruments around the world that are what? Really bullish. And you could see there's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. We have 3 screens full, 4 screens full. That's 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 65 instruments that are really bullish right now in the S&P 500. That is really bullish all the way from a 30-minute to 240 to the daily to the weekly and monthly. So, what do you guys think? That's bullish, isn't it? How many do you think are bearish? Let's go through and look at this from a bearish perspective. So let's see out of the S&P 500, how many are bearish? The best part is I could set up all this and just save it as a profile so I don't have to keep on doing this every time. I'm doing this for you guys so that you could see exactly how I'm doing this. I'm literally just going through, setting up everything to be bearish. Okay. General tab. Let's come here to the S&P 500. Look at that. Only 2 stocks are bearish out of the S&P 500. Isn't that interesting? 65 stocks are bullish, 2 stocks are bearish. That means all the rest of them are in a basically influx. Everyone see that? So if you think the market's going to go up, you could sit there and look at those particular opportunities, the ones that we did bullish, set it up for being bullish, and then all you do is go to your trading time frame, look for a strategy number 4, and it'll filter out and tell you which one of those stock opportunities where all the higher time frames and lower time frames are supporting you has a strategy set up on it, so then all you do is take it. Everyone see the power this is offering for you? So you could even judge the markets really behind the scenes on what's going on, because sometimes these indexes here really distort things. How many times have you seen the E-mini S&P 500 futures go up drastically, but your portfolio has not moved at all? The major stocks from Cisco, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Apple, and you name it, they have not gone up. You probably have seen that a lot last 2 months especially. And that's the reason why is some of these indexes are heavily weighted to particular stocks. And by doing this, you could avoid and see all that stuff. Okay? Now, that gives you a little insight in here. Okay? If you're a counter trend trader, and this is what I want to show you, I'm kind of giving you guys various ideas out there on how powerful this is. If you could imagine a strategy, you could literally build it in here. Let's say I'm a counter trend trader. What I could do is on the weekly time frame, come over here, and I could look for extreme overextension. Okay? And when I got extreme overextension, these are all what? Bullish, aren't they? Okay? Now, if I'm a counter trend trader, I could come down here to a 10-minute and say, you know what, they're in extreme extensions, which are extreme bullish conditions. Now I want to find out of these opportunities here, which one is below the cloud. So which one is going counter trend and finally trying to equalize. And out of those opportunities, this one is trying to equalize. Okay. Jeff had a question. So you have 440 stocks in the cloud. Yes, well, remember, when you say in the cloud, remember, It could be any of those time frames, because what we're looking for is for price to be above the cloud on the monthly, weekly, daily, 240, and a 60-minute, and a 30-minute. Okay, so out of there, 65 stocks were always above the cloud on any of those time frames, and only, I think, well, from my memory, 2 or 3 were below the cloud. Everything else, the price was in the cloud in one of those time frames. I don't know how many, but in some of them it was there. Okay, does that make sense, Jeff? Okay, Hector had a question. Can you scan filter 1 to 3 or better risk to reward for Forex? Now, Hector, that is a confusing question. Okay, can you scan filter 1 to 3? What does 1 to 3 mean? Are you asking for a 3 to 1 reward risk ratio? Okay, no. So in here, you don't have the ability to find a 3 to 1 reward risk ratio. That's something you have to determine yourself. And the reason why is, let's come here to this DAL trade. And let me give you an example. Everyone's different. Some people like breakout trades. Some people like pullback trades. Okay, if you're a pullback trader, then what happens is you could put a pullback in here. There's your stop, and at that point you have to determine how far it's going to go up. Some people may say it's going to come all the way up here. Some people will say, you know what, it's only going to come to this green line here. So your reward risk changes based on what your thought process is. Okay. Some people will say, you know what, it can't pull all the way down here. If it does, it's no longer going to look bearish for me. So some people will say, I want to take a pullback level here or here. And at that point, their stop is there. And they'll say, wait, you know what, I'm not targeting this here. I'm going to target this thing to come up to $55. So if they do that, then their risk is here and their reward is up here. So depending on where you think it's going, that controls your reward. Depending on where your pullback level is or your entry is, that's going to control your risk. So it's very hard for a system to sit there and scan for a 3 to 1 opportunity. In fact, from the programming in the institutional world, high frequency machines and behavioral finance, I've never seen that. The only thing, and remember, I come from the institutional world where I created high frequency machines that did 40,000 trades per second. Okay, and we did behavioral finance machines. There's a limitation on what you could program behind the scenes. Okay, you will probably never see a high-frequency machine analyzing more than 2 time frames. Ours analyzes 7 at one time. Okay, and believe it or not, behind this website is actually a high-frequency machine that's running full-time, where it's physically entering trades in the back end and exiting and so forth. So it's really running code, executing trades on the back end. We're just not giving you the buy and sell signals and the stops and all that. And the reason why we don't do that is that everyone is different. Everyone has a different personality. So what happens is that we filter out all the bad opportunities and show you the high probability ones. Then it's up to you to determine the risk to reward, which is the last section, the money management. So from a technical aspect, we're doing the technical for you, and now the only thing you have to do is the money management part and validate it to make sure it fits your profile. Does that make sense, Hector? I know that's a lot of words. Now, some of these words, if you're a brand new trader or new to Ichimoku, I may be throwing you off. You may be confused, and you're like, "Oh my God, what is this guy talking about?" Okay, don't panic. Okay, you have to understand. We have various types of traders. We have traders that are brand new to trading. Then we have intermediate traders. Then we have advanced. We even have traders that own seats on the exchanges. Okay. So whenever I do a presentation, I try to cater to everything out there, but it's virtually hard to satisfy everyone. So if you're a little lost, don't worry. Just call us or email us and set up a personal session, and we'll go for everything on a one-to-one, and we'll cater it to your way. okay, so you could understand things. But literally, you could create anything in here that you like. Okay, one other thing I want to highlight is the most popular strategy on the web is this Thinkorswim Cajunson cross strategy. Now, I have no idea why that strategy is the most important out there, and a lot of people will try to sell you automated strategies with it, and especially in the Forex world and so forth. Okay, it's not the best strategy out there. In fact, it's the worst. When markets are trending, it works, but when the markets are consolidating, it'll tear you apart. So you have to be very careful. So what I've done is I've altered that strategy and I optimized it. So if you're very persistent to trade that strategy, then what happens is you could click here and I give you an optimized version of it to increase your probability of success. So hopefully it won't sit there, you won't get slaughtered during a consolidation pattern. Okay? So literally all these profiles are sample profiles that I recommend for you guys to start using. Okay? If you want to create new profiles, you're more than welcome to. And if you need guidance on there, all you do is pick up this ebook here and it'll literally explain to you all the different strategies and you can play with them here. So, we've covered a lot in 1 hour. Do you guys have any questions at all right now? No? Okay. We're going to wrap this up then. If you guys don't have any questions, we're going to wrap this up. This video will be posted, as I mentioned, 1 to 3 days in the video section, which will be under here, email, heat map email alerts. Okay? And we will also send this out via email blast too. Lawrence had a question. How long does it take to learn to use this? Well, Lawrence, the sales and marketing answer that most people will give you is you can learn it right away. I don't believe in giving that to you. So let me tell you the real answer. There's no way I could answer that. Reason why is I don't know you. I don't know how fast you learn. I don't know what your trading background is. I don't know what your goals are or anything like that. So without knowing some background information, it's going to be very, very hard to kind of answer that question for you. The best thing I would do is probably call this number here, talk to us about what your goals are, what background you have, and at that point we could show you exactly how to do it. And what we'll do is that if you're beginning, we'll step you through what videos you need to look for step by step so it doesn't become overwhelming. Remember, our goal is to teach you to trade not for short-term profits for a long, long time. Okay, so we're not teaching you where it's something it's going to work for a while, and then after a while, with market volatility or black swan events, it's going to become outdated. Our goal is to teach you something for life. If you think about it, I came from a telecom background. This was not my original profession at all. Okay, so I was the 99% of the retail traders out there that don't succeed. So I was that 99% along with you guys out there. Luckily, I became that 1% that jumped from the telecom industry to the institutional world where I got to manage money and create high-frequency machines. And that's when I became a real trader out there. Okay, so it's going to take some time, but how much time, I don't know right now. Would you show the TradeStation Cloud? Yep, well, let me see if I have it on this machine here. Give me 1 second and I could see it here. There we go. So in TradeStation, this is what it looks like here. Let's pull up something that's better. This is what it looks like in TradeStation. Okay, so this is the cloud. It's not the prettiest thing in TradeStation, but TradeStation does give you a lot more features and functionality that the other platforms can't give you. Okay. There's a question here. Did you say there was a tutorial video on the correct settings for the cloud? Yeah, for Thinkorswim. If you come in here at the Thinkorswim videos, there's two videos here, and the reason why is I run a meetup group for 400 people here for Thinkorswim. So I run the Thinkorswim meetup group here in Atlanta. And what we've done is we spent 2 whole days and I recorded on how to set up the entire Thinkorswim platform, which is also the cloud and everything there. Donna, you good? Peter, are you there? Peter, are you there? Okay, we're going to wrap this up now for everyone.